So I had a special request from someone to cover how I make my mice look sleepy. So I thought I would show you in this bonus video. But the first thing I want to draw your attention to is on this mouse, I've incorporated some little fat rolls, and I think it adds a really lovely, realistic touch to a mouse. So if you wanted to do a mouse sitting or laying down or something like that, you can create these fat rolls, and they're really straightforward. All I do is take the mouse as it's been felted, and then I bend it in the direction that I want it to lean or sit or whatever position you want it to be in. And as I bend it, you naturally get these little indentations, which you would do on a sort of any kind of living being anyway. And then I just take my double needles, and I'm using my super fine ones here, and I just felt into those indentations. Now, what you don't want to do is have the indentations equal lengths, because it will take away from the realistic look of what you're trying to achieve. So try and make one slightly shorter, one slightly longer, so it looks more natural and realistic. And also, if you want to go with the curvature of how a body would go, so for instance, he would have his little mouse boobies here if he was if he was kind of like a humanoid mouse. So I would take this down at a slight angle to give him the impression that he's a bit chunky and he's got a bit of a mouse boob, I would call it, as opposed to a man boob. And then just taking the needles in again. What you don't want to do is go too far into the back area. You can take it a little bit into the back. And actually, if you take it into the back where his thigh would naturally be, it creates a lovely little chunky thigh as well, which is quite nice. But I wouldn't go too far back with all of the lines, because I think then again, it takes away from that realistic look. So that's just a nice little tip there for you in relation to creating little fat rolls on your mouse. And I've also added a little belly button in there for you as well. Right, so making him look super sleepy. So as you can see here, I've got my finished mouse. He's got his eyes in place, he's got his ears in place. I'm going to move his hand down just so I've got some room to play with now. Really straightforward technique, and you can change this up as you need to kind of make him look less sleepy or more sleepy. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some more of my white wool bats. And you want to use the same wool bats that you've been using throughout, obviously to keep that continuity there. You want to take just a touch, a tiny amount, so like this, just a pinch, and then I'm just going to layer that on top of itself, and then I'm going to place it just over the eye. I'm going to take my double needles, and initially I'm just going to felt it down across the eye very lightly. So I'm not going in too heavily, I'm not going in hell for leather. It's very gentle, and I'm going to create a bit of an angle as I'm felting it in, and you can already see here what I'm trying to achieve. Now, some people would say, why are you bothering to put the eyes in? You're creating more work for yourself, it's unnecessary. But what I like to do is have the eyes in place anyway, and that way I think it gives a more natural look to the eye, because you're not trying to position the pupils in afterwards. I think by positioning the pupils and the eye in place as you would have it, you can have a lot more flexibility then as to where, you can have a lot more flexibility as where you want that. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. You can have a lot more flexibility as to where you want your eyelids to go. So I'm just going to felt this down like this. So I'm going to have him with a little bit of an eye slit here. I'm just going to felt that down. And the key here is, like we've done through all of making our mouse, is to make sure that we really felt in those strands of wool, so it just becomes nicely amalgamated into the rest of the sculpture. Okay, so I'm going to felt down into the eye itself as well, not too much for the time being. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more of that white wool. So roughly the same amount again. I'm just going to take a pinch, layer it on top of each other, and then I'm just going to place that over the same area just to build the bulk up. You don't want it to be really bulky, but you want to get rid of that opaqueness so it looks just solidly white. So I'm just going to felt that in again until everything is nicely blended together, so you don't see any lines or joins or anything like that. And the double needles, again, just speed that process up rather than going in for a single needle. I'm just going to go into that line here. Just where that join is, I'm just going to felt that down. And actually I'm going to work with that to create a bit of an eye crease there. A bit of an indentation where his eye is. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more wool, just to build it up a little bit more. And then just felt that down again. Okay, so once you've felted everything down and it's all nicely blended, I'm going to go back to my single needle and I'm just going to felt around where the rest of the eye was, which you should be able to still see roughly, and you should feel it as you felt, and just create an eyelid. It doesn't have to be a super heavy felt, but just enough so you can kind of get the idea that that's his eyelid. There we go. You can see it's taking a nice shape there. Don't go with a medium needle because it'll be too heavy and you'll end up felting too much and you'll lose the natural shape of the eyelid. Whereas if you go with a fine, extra fine needle, you'll get a much better, smoother line. So don't feel tempted to speed things up with a medium needle because you'll ruin the look. So there you go, you can really see he's starting to take form now. So I'm just gonna keep going until I'm happy with my lid. And that's the other reason why I put the whole eye in first, because that way you get a much more authentic looking depth to the eye as well. Whereas if I was just to felt this brown bit in here, you wouldn't get the same kind of depth to the eyelid by just felting it against the sort of the already formed head, if that makes sense. Whereas you've already got the indentation and the depth in that eyelid, or in the eye, sorry, to create the eyelid. I hope I'm making sense. I'm probably waffling a little bit, but you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully that will make sense to you. Okay. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to go around a bit more around the outside of the eye, just to felt round any white bits of loose wool, just to get it all nice and smooth and integrated together. And then I'm going to move on to the next eye. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to take a pinch of wool, layer it on top of each other. However, this time I'm going to position my lid slightly higher up, okay? So he's not quite as sleepy in this eye. I think it's quite nice to add that difference in the eyelids, because again, I think it adds to the realism, or as real as a humanoid mouse can be, to the sculpture. I always think C.S. Lewis Narnia creatures when I'm making my felted animals. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. Remember, like the BBC did the Chronicles of Narnia. I think I must have been about 6 or 7 when it was on TV. And you watch it back now and you think, oh my goodness, it's a very basic kids TV program. All the special effects are, well, very 80s, I guess. It was sort of very clever at the time. But you look back now and you think, oh my goodness, it's very basic. But I always kind of base my creatures on that kind of look, or like a Jim Henson Muppet. That kind of thing. So as opposed to really realistic. So they look a bit puppet-like, but like they could come to life. It makes absolutely no sense at all. But yeah, again, hopefully you get what I mean. So you can see here I've gone for a slightly higher lid. So I'm just gonna felt that down. Okay, I'm just going to give him a bit more wool. I'll be back in a second once I've felted this one down. So I've added the majority of the wool that I want to form the lid. What I'm going to do now is just take my fine needle and I'm just going to felt it upwards slightly, just to raise that lid a little bit more. And then I'm just going to go around like I did before to create that indentation to give the impression of a lid shape. But it's obviously a little bit smaller than the last one because we're going a bit higher on the eye. So there you go, that is how you make a sleepy eye. So as you can see here, I've got the one eye and it's nearly closed and he's really trying to stay awake and keep his other eye open, but he's losing the battle massively. So this is a really fun technique to do if you decide that you want to make a sleepy mouse or even, you know, a sleepy fox, any kind of animal you want to really, but it's really straightforward. It just needs a bit of patience to add the wool in and to create the shape, and Bob's your uncle, you're done. And actually I do have an uncle called Bob, so so quite literally Bob is my uncle. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will be back again. I think I might do something about mouse clothing next time, just to show you guys how I make hats and clothes for my mice as well. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd like, and I will see you very soon. Take care and have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much. Bye.